Hey everybody, my name is Patrick. I'm on the agent development team here at Lori Life and Health, and today I want to show you how to do a compliant Medicare appointment from beginning to end. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing you want to do is get permission to contact. Now you can get this done a few different ways. The most common way is you meet a prospect at an event, maybe just out in public. You get them to fill out a permission to contact form. That allows you to call them later on to set up an appointment. Also, other ways of permission to contact or permission to contact. Yeah, if a client walks into your office, if they call you, if they email you, if they text you, you can go ahead and proceed with setting up an appointment from there. So that's the first step. After that, you want to get a scope of appointment completed and get a date and time that y'all are scheduled to either talk on the phone or meet in person. So, as far as the scope goes, you have to determine whether or not the 48-hour rule is needed. So, if you remember back for the 48-hour rule with the final rule for 2024, CMS brought that rule back. There's a couple caveats though that where you don't have to get the scope completed within 48 hours. So those two caveats are if the client is a walk-in or if you are in the last 4 days of that client's enrollment period. So if neither one of those apply, then you do need to get the scope filled out 48 hours in advance of your scheduled appointment. You can do that over the phone. Many carriers have telephonic options if you can record your calls. This is the easiest way, in my opinion. It takes a few minutes over the phone with them. You got it done. You can also do it electronically. MyLori, the enrollment system we give all our agent partners, gives you options to do an electronic scope. And also many carriers have this in their enrollment platforms as well. And then finally, you can also get the scope done in person. You can go by their house, get them to fill it out, and come back later for the appointment. You can mail it to them and they can fill it out, mail it back to you. This is not the preferred method, but if you are just nearby and you want to stop by and get them to fill it out in person, you can always do that as well. So if you are in one of those exclusions for the 48-hour rule and say you're either in the last 4 days of their enrollment period or if they are a walk-in, then you don't have to worry about getting the scope filled out ahead of time. You can go ahead and get them to fill that out while you are in the appointment. Although I do still prefer to get them to fill out ahead of time, save some time while you're actually meeting with them about benefits. So now that you've got all the compliance stuff there out of the way, let's go ahead and conduct a thorough needs analysis while you're meeting with them in person. This is going to include learning about their situation. Are they new to Medicare? Are they losing group coverage? Do they have Medicaid? Do they have LIS? Learn about their situation. Learn about their background. See how you can help them get an idea about what that will mean. You also want to get a copy of their prescriptions so you can do some research on those. You want to get their doctors so you can do some research on those as well. You want to figure out what enrollment period they have. Make sure they have an enrollment period before really diving into plans, as sometimes you might have to just wait till AEP that year, and that's okay, but you don't want to waste their time or waste your time if they don't have some sort of enrollment period to use at that point in time. And then you also want to go over the differences between Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, help them, empower them to come to a decision of which option is right in their case. So after getting all of that information, you want to go ahead and do some research. I typically make this agent facing, and what I mean by that is I don't show the client my screen while I'm doing research. It can get very confusing for them. There's a lot of different plans out there. They might wonder why you're only looking at one or two plans, even though you know the one or two plans that you're going to show them are really the only options that make sense. So in this step, you want to look up the prescriptions, go ahead and quote those, whether you're getting a Medicare Advantage plan or the client's getting a standalone Part D, go ahead and run that quote. If you're getting them a Medicare Advantage plan, you want to make sure the doctors are in network, since most of those plans are either HMO plans or PPO plans. And then you also want to look at specific benefits like dental, hearing, vision, over-the-counter benefits, gym membership, stuff like that. Really dive in and based on the needs analysis, make sure you find a plan that has the extra benefits that's going to best suit your client. So after that, you want to go ahead and share the plans that you have chosen for your client. The first thing I like to do is go over the prescription quote, give them an estimation of what their prescriptions are going to cost with the plan you have chosen for the rest of the year. Then I like to go over the summary of benefits. If it's a Medicare Advantage plan, you read through all the copays, all the benefits. Prescription plan, you do the same. And then Medicare Supplement, make sure you detail or explain the benefits in detail of how that Medicare supplement is going to work as a secondary to Medicare. You want to explain all these benefits in detail. It can avoid a future complaint, any confusion from the client, and you want to make sure the client can get all they can out of that plan. So as far as that goes, just make sure you explain the benefits in detail, and then move on from there. Make sure you answer any questions. You also want to go over star ratings. So as far as that goes, every plan is rated on a scale of 1 to 5 from Medicare. Some of these can be a little bit confusing, but we are required to disclose it to the client so they know exactly what they're getting. And then you want to give the client a chance to ask any questions. Be very patient with them. Some clients will have a lot of questions, and that's okay. That's really where you can sell yourself over other agents. If you answer all their questions, they're going to go with you one way or another. So this is a very important step, and you want to make sure there's no confusion before you get them enrolled. So after going over all the information, you can go ahead and complete the application. You can do that on our My Lori platform, which is a proprietary platform that allows you to enroll for both Medicare Advantage and prescription plans. You can do that on paper. You can do it through the carrier's portal. There's a lot of different ways you can do applications these days. Just make sure that you get them all done while you're there with the client. If you're doing a Medicare supplement and a prescription plan, make sure you do both applications. I've seen agents maybe miss one or the other. Make sure you knock them both out. If you're doing Medicare Advantage, this is always going to be one application. After this, though, your work is not done. You want to go back and make sure a couple of days later that the application got approved by the carrier, got approved by CMS, and it's being processed before the effective date so your client has coverage when they need it. So if you got any questions about any of this, feel free to drop it in the comments below or give us a call. Our number is in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of the content we're putting out there for you. So I look forward to talking to all of y'all very soon. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day.